What's up, everybody? It's Saul Sunforge here for, as of still, Dungeons and Taverns. How's everybody doing? I'm kind of tired of making videos about the OGL. I kind of only wanted to make the first one, but I never knew the situation was going to change from that. I kind of figured they were going to backpedal. I actually said that in the first video. If you go back and watch it, that before they did backpedal, that they're definitely going to backpedal. I didn't know that they were going to be sneaky about it, and like there's a lot of things, there's a lot of moving parts, and so I feel like sometimes I need to update the community, my community. You know, even though it's a small community, I still consider you all, friends, and so I just want to let you know what's going on and what I'm doing and how I'm moving based on how they move. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to let you know. Get a drink of coffee here.
I love coffee.
You are too young to be loving coffee. You better not say that. You better not say it in front of mommy. Huh?
Sorry, Daddy.
Don't be sorry. Just don't say it in front of mommy. Huh?
I know, Daddy.
You know?
That's funny.
So I'm going to go ahead and assume that by now, if you're on this channel, there's a very good chance you've already heard about this, the OGL and everything. Let's just cover it real quick. OGL is a document from 20 plus years ago that Wizards of the Coast had made so that you can use the license and use their properties in your stuff and sell stuff and make money from it. And, it was intended to be irrevocable. The language in it, Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro is trying to argue that they can revoke it at any time that they want to. The creators who made it and who intended for it to never be revoked or be able to be declined or taken away from you. So Wizards of the Coast Hasbro is attempting to take this away from people who've been making projects since then, or since 5th edition started. Not in 4th edition, because as I understand, the OGL wasn't in 4th edition. It was a different type of license. And but for 5th edition, D&D came back into favor, mainly because of third-party publishers. And that's why D&D was featured in Stranger Things and The Big Bang Theory and things like that. It's because the creators brought it back and so allowed it to have the exposure that it did after it was dying, to allow these shows to use this, or else I just don't feel like they probably would have. But it's a symbiotic relationship, or it used to be a symbiotic relationship, where third-party creators create items for your game system, thereby bolstering your community and growing it larger and larger because you're giving out more of what the people wish to buy. In exchange, they were getting paid money for those items from people who purchased it. So Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro was growing their influence. Creators were making a little bit of money. Depending on how long you've been doing it, or how many projects you've had, how many contacts you have, how much luck you have, there's different sizes along the way because people have different starting points and things like that. But none of them are completely huge, except there is Paizo, which makes Pathfinder. Pathfinder originated because they didn't like how D&D was working, and so that's I believe it's kind of like your 3.5 rules, but expanded on. It's like as if, what if the next edition actually just continued on with what they were doing and just made it a little bit better? That's Pathfinder, as far as I understand. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't mind. If I'm wrong, I wish to be corrected every single time. So Wizards of the Coast is coming out and trying to say they can do this and steal this and that, and it's theirs. And Paizo saying, no, hold on a minute. We can take you to court, and we will. We're ready for it. You don't have those rights that you claim that you have. You're just trying to get away with the stuff. And we're willing to go to court. And so Wizards of the Coast kind of started to back off, but they started backing off once they seen the ND&D, that D and Done, those hashtags. Actually, I don't even know if D and Done is one, but that would be sweet. D and Done, is that one? I don't know. Oh, Done D&D is D and Done. It sounds better to me. Use it. Go ahead and use all the hashtags you want. Get this stuff out there, man. This is ridiculous. This is crazy. This is wild to me. Like, this is like the most drama in the TTRPG community right here. Like, this is the most drama we've had. I mean, since Games Workshop. And there's been leaked emails and things like that from Hasbro, Wizard of the Coast top, execs, basically saying that, they don't really care about the game. We're just kind of, a means to the end. And the end goal is money, because of greed, because a company that keeps growing has to keep growing in order to keep growing. You see what I'm saying? It's a self-perpetuating cycle. If you have a company, you're always going to be looking for more profits. If you have shareholders, especially, they're going to be pressuring you for more profits. If you have a parent company, they're going to be pressuring you for even more profits. So Wizards of the Coast brought over a chick from Microsoft who's very transaction focused. She loves those microtransactions in video games and wants to incorporate it in your hobby. So what I believe is going to happen is on D&D Beyond, you're going to make purchases for all the tokens, specialty items for those tokens, like your magical items. You're probably going to have to pay for your spell effects and things like that. I don't think it's going to get crazy where they make you pay for an attack. I mean, I don't think it's going to go cell phone, mobile game crazy, because that shit's batshit nuts, and that's why I never will play any of those damn games ever. Pay money per turn. You get 5 turns for free, and then you got to wait an hour and a half for your next turn. Get to the back of the line. We got too many good games to play, like how D&D used to be, but they messed things up. The community did not like the leaks, and they are liars, proven liars. You know why? They said 1.1 was a draft. Okay, I figured they were going to try to do something like this, but I didn't think they were going to try to say they released a draft. I thought they were going to just try to say, no, this was like somebody just made this to cause an uproar. This isn't actually a leak from us, or something like that. Something so they could completely backpedal from it, right? But no, they try to say, no, it was official, a draft. Okay? I'm sure you all know what a draft is, right? It's the copy before you finalize. You look at it, you edit, you add stuff, take stuff away, and then you rewrite it as the final, right? But guess what? Their draft had somewhere for you to sign. You can't legally bind somebody to a draft. Why would they have you sign for it if it's a draft? They try to say, oh, we're not trying to take anybody's items. We're not trying to take them as our own. We're sorry you were scared of that. There's a lot of language that they use to try to belittle the community. And you know what? I love looking between the lines at stuff. I always can tell. And they are very much ridiculing us. They're trying to make us seem like we have a position of weakness, and they're the position of strength. And that's what the whole, people who say that you won and we lost are only half right. We both won. This was our intention all along. Shut your mouths, Hasbro. It was not. Don't lie. We understand. Listen, this game has trained us to detect these types of things exactly. Okay? We're already trained to look through your bullshit. We might not be trained in the legal nonsense or the doublespeak. But look, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, okay? One thing I know is doublespeak. Mike Tomlin and his press conferences does nothing but doublespeak. Constantly. Talking a lot, but saying very little. So, they lost probably a few $100,000 so far from people who've canceled their D&D Beyond subscriptions. Full disclosure, I had that I just made a free account. I've never paid for it. I used it in one campaign where the DM was allowed to share his books with you because they couldn't stand that I use physical books and not the PDFs. And so they kept trying to force it on me. So I was like, fine. And I just made an account. But I've not paid for a thing on there, and I never will. But there are caveats to everything I say, everything anybody says. Never. There's a few circumstances. Okay, that's probably better. There's a few circumstances in which I can see that they would be back in my good graces, and I'll go over those. And I know none of them are going to look at this and see this, so it's whatever. It's just my thoughts as a layman. I don't have any legal experience. I mean, I work for a company selling legal insurance and things, but I don't have no actual legal experience. I'm not an attorney. I'm just using common sense and intuition and things like that. All right, so if I was Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, what I would do is I would come out to the community and say, look, we wanted to make some changes. Our stockholders didn't seem like they wanted us to make more profit, and we agree that we can make more money. Most of our money comes from DMs and not players, and we want to make it so that some of the money comes from players as well. And so that's why we're going to do this with D&D Beyond, where the players are going to have microtransactions. They could call them what they are, or they could try to, word souffle it so it's not called microtransactions, because, that's a dirty word, and it is. And, I mean, it depends on how it's used, really. If it's used for horse armor, then yeah, for sure, no microtransaction. But if it's used for something that you actually get value from, I can see it. Paying 50 cents or something for a spell effect? Yeah, okay. Or buying every spell effect for $10? Yeah, okay. Yeah, alright. Because that's cool shit, man. And I think people can agree with paying for cool shit, right? We do it every day. There's no reason to force people to buy your turd sandwich when you can offer them freaking filet mignon. I don't think everything should be microtransactions. Not everything, for sure. I think you should be able to use the system that they come up with on there, maybe for a one lump price, maybe. If they really want money from it that badly, to squeeze every last drop out of everything they can, $5, you have access to the table. All right, cool. But you don't get the specials. I can see that. I can see that working. That obviously I don't have experience making microtransactions, and these are just my thoughts based on my experience level with dealing with them. But I can see a situation where this is salvageable and tenable. Secondly, it's their property, and even though the agreement in place is completely for the players, I do believe that they should be able to edit some things or update some things with a limit, and the limit would be obviously what players and the DMs and the creators accept. And you can tell what they accept by judging the pulse of the community, which they're doing currently, and that's why they are, running through the frat house naked, on their walk of shame home. Actually, that doesn't even sound right. I don't know why they'd be running through the house naked, but home. But they live crazier lifestyles than I do. Okay, but I feel that Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, should be able to have some money for your use of their setting. It's only fair, and it's not the setting. It's so you can create for the user base. The install base of D&D is what you're going for. So your access to that install base should be what you're paying for. And by extension, the world, the lore, all that stuff. But I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I haven't played in terribly many campaigns because I'm a forever DM, but I've never DM'd a campaign in any of the Forgotten Realms or anything like that. I haven't. Not once. Not one single time. Not even my very first campaign back in like 2002 when I was on the USS Abraham Lincoln. They've all been made by me. I've been early on was criticized for that. Actually, why aren't you using the official Why? Why? If it's a game of imagination, why would I want to use their official stuff all the time? If I'm using their official rules, their official DMG, their official spells, why can't everything else be mine? Right? And that's what third parties do. They come in here with their stuff and present it to you and say, hey, you like it? Here's more stuff that you like. We see that you like D&D, but we see the things that you don't like about D&D, and we're here to fix it, and we're here to change it. And why would Wizards of the Coast, Hasbro, not like that? Like, they should be thanking third parties, not vilifying and condemning them. I understand they want their money. I get it. But not 25%. Not 25%, man. The profit margin is rather thin for third parties. We don't have the banking of Hasbro and the advertisement capability of Hasbro and all the artists that they can pay for and all the lawyers that they can provide. We don't have all of those things. So for you to try to present any company as a big company is just fallacious lies. There's no other, you are the big company. There's no other big dogs but you. Okay? And if you're trying to do things to muscle all these other people out so you're the only one on the block, don't put it in your contract about muscling out big dudes because you're not a small creator. Stop it. It's a very terrible look for you. So what I propose, if you would like to save yourself and make money at the same time, is cut that shit down. Not in half, but like in fifths for 25%. 5% max. And I would recommend 3%. 1, 2, 3. It's based on the size of the creator. The smaller you are, the lower the percentage. Not a baseline percentage. A smaller percentage. You know why? Because the smaller the creator you are, the less your profit margin is. It's because you can't create as much. You can't put as much into it. You can't do it. It's only once you start getting a team that you can do it. So when you have a team, you're able to make better quality stuff. And then you can charge a little bit more. So your profit margin's a bit more. Since their profit margin's a bit more, you can have a bit more. Okay? I feel that's amicable and makes sense. I feel that most people would have agreed to that. I would have, certainly. I certainly would have agreed to that. As long as you also don't try to say, I can take your stuff when I want. It belongs to me. I need a master copy of it. I don't have to give you credit. If you're giving it away for free and we don't like it, we can just take it from you and sell it as our own, cut you completely out. That's the bullshit people don't like. Guaranteed. I haven't surveyed a single person, but I guarantee that's the bullshit they don't like. Because it's what I don't like. So, bottom line, summary. Microtransactions in D&D Beyond? Some. For the premium stuff. And make them smaller transactions because you know you're going to have a lot of people. And so, you're going to make hand over fist. You're going to be making boats, trucks of money. Trucks. You could have. But now you have all these people canceling. Thousands and thousands of people canceling. And that money is being sucked back out of the system. Because of you. And your greed. My way allows you to still make money off of what's yours. While simultaneously giving the creator creative expanse and leeway. Nobody's trying to steal your property. It's your property. Keep certifying it's your property because it is your property. But what's up here? And what I do with it and write it down and commit it to paper and commit that paper to books and then sell those books. That's me. That's my work. That's my work. Unless you're about to go through and you're about to advertise the shit out of every third-party creator, don't ask for nothing near 20%. I'd say if you're going to advertise the shit out of creators, the very, very absolute most you should be asking for at that point, 7 to 10% at the very most, because you're taking care of their advertisements for them by advertising it on your official stuff. If you ain't doing that, you can't offer that deal, 1 to 3% for access to your install base. Thank you. Symbiotic relationship. You're constantly getting money in for doing nothing. For doing nothing, just like Steam. You'd be like a Steam. You don't even have to make official D&D books anymore. Steam doesn't even. Valve doesn't even have to make games anymore. They don't even have to. Other people do it for them. They get paid for the pleasure to have it done in one place because of the install base. That's it. So don't kid yourselves. But if they turn around and offered something like that I just said, because it seems reasonable, even if it's just a little bit more than what I said, and it's like, okay, all right. But I don't think they will. I don't know. I don't think they will. I mean, company's company. It's just the way of the world anymore, man. I don't know. Sometimes it feels like I was raised in a different world. You know, I'm a kid of the 80s. And all this stuff that's going on right now, all this greed, all the litigious lawsuits everywhere. Why? It's just a waste of time. We should be growing the hobby still. We all could. We depended on you guys for 20 years. Well, 22 exactly, but 20 plus years. We depended on you. And in turn, we helped get you grew. You became stronger. Third-party creators aren't a hindrance to you. They're your driving force. They're your driving force. Try to drive a car when you take the gas tank out. Try to drive the electric car with no electricity. What you gonna do? Because what you're doing right now is you took your company from a fully gassed car and you're biking home. I'm Saul Sunforge, and this is, for now, Dungeons and Taverns. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves.